Camera rolling. Can't do much about this hair. Oh, episode 4, podcast number 4. We are back.
Episode 4 podcast
Yes.
is still the same.
Making it,
It's not
saying it
number
twice
4.
over
Right.
is going to make it very clear.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, starting things up, what did we learn in the past 10 days or so?
I learn something every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's enumerate those things. What did you learn?
I learned that, the media is as expected everywhere in the world. It can go completely nuts because it wants to gain TRPs, as has been the case with the recent news which came out of India, which is one of the greatest legendary actresses of the country, only 54. She passed away at this, cousin, at this wedding which she'd gone on, a nephew's wedding. And the way the media outlets, and these are the mainstream media outlets, especially the the ones which are the native language media outlets, they have gone and decimated the post death coverage, talking about what was her lifestyle. Maybe that was one of the reasons they've become investigative journalists. A lot has been unfolding from the post-mortem reports. The post-mortem reports have not come in, but they're sitting and suspecting and making these assumptions about everything except talking about the legend or the actor she was and how she started at 4 and continued to act till 50 for 50 years.
So, we're talking about Sridevi, one of India's eminent female actresses. Why? And I say female because she was widely hailed as the first female superstar in Bollywood. And she's acted in over 300 movies and also gotten a lot of...
At 54, 300 movies. Not a joke.
Yeah.
She was a very versatile actor.
Versatile actor.
She became like the poster child for 80s, 90s,
and that's it, because after that
she sort of
a time period was over, because that's what happens in Bollywood.
That's what happens in Bollywood, but she did make like a second inning. I hate to call it a second inning, but because you really never, as an artist, your craft never leaves you. So she took a sabbatical to raise her kids and then came back to do films, which did exceedingly well as well.
English,
Mom. Her last film was Mom. So she's had she leaves a great legacy as an actor and has inspired generations. I was a fan. I think you were a huge fan.
When I was 3 years old, yeah.
What happened when you were 3 years old?
What?
Why were you such a huge fan?
Because she was the number one female actress at that time.
At 3, she impacted a child who was just 3 years old, and she entered the film industry at 3.5, 4. Her mother sort of pushed her, so she'd had a very she had a very in the limelight sort of a life. So you can never really say for an actor of such caliber who gave you so many amazing works which we keep going back to and actors keep referring to, the way the media has been handling it. I mean, just yesterday, one of the news channels...
And this is after the husband's plea to the media to respect their privacy, and they've been at it with whatever little evidence they have on hand. They keep trying to push segments out of it.
And they're pushing segments because they want to keep that 24-hour news cycle alive with all kinds of ridiculous things and notions which come out of their head. So just to give you a brief capsule, she'd gone on this wedding. And the first reports came in, one thought, and her husband, Bonnie Kapoor, had gone to surprise her. But the first report said that she had a cardiac arrest. That was the first piece of information which was released. But she was at Dubai. Now, however, they're talking about it was a case of drowning because she was supposed to get ready to meet her husband, and she may have something may have happened.
It's they've labeled it as accidental drowning. And some have also speculated, I don't know if it's the official report or not, but she was also intoxicated. It might have compromised her consciousness. And
it could have
accidental drowning.
It could have been a simple case of we don't know. And
whatever it is, even if she was under the influence of alcohol, when someone passes, you don't get to just like speculate being a news channel or whatever.
And speculate to the point of, you have to see the clip which we're going to be running, where this news reporter they have recreated the scene of the bathroom and the bathtub, next to the
Wow.
bathtub. And this is one of the highest journalistic awards winner, one of those journalists
right.
is talking about the 15 minutes of the last of her life we are going to show,
As if they
and you
were there
spend with
inside the
them.
bathroom.
Yeah, I mean,
Which won't be beneath them, these
yeah, it
parasites.
won't be, and it's parasites.
If they got the chance.
And you've also spoken about this before, and I've also said this, that it definitely shows the kind of it shows the kind of viewership which we have also, that people are constantly tuning back to these sort of news channels. But as a media powerhouse and as a mainstream media channel, it therefore now becomes even more responsible for media houses to know what to report.
Apparently
And
people
how
love
to
this.
report.
Apparently people love this.
Because that's what
keep
they're
getting the
showing
ratings.
them, right?
Apparently people love it.
Because somebody thinks that a sensational piece of news is easier to sell.
It is easier to sell.
Also, look at this.
But unless somebody goes ahead and sues them for this spreading of false information, it's not going to stop, right?
It's not going to, no, but even that is not going to challenge them. The point is that we need to push news broadcasters, and people need to stop tuning out. Start tuning out of these stupid media organizations.
I think most people have, but it's just
but the
like
general populace hasn't tuned out of
the
it.
general populace will always be stupid.
Yeah, but there is some amount of content control and content refining which is required. So it becomes what I'm trying to say is that it becomes responsibility then of these media houses with higher TRPs to understand what qualifies as news, what qualifies as paying respect to somebody who's died. We've had a lot of, and it also shows the bias, because this woman, she has a drinking problem. This is all sorts of rubbish is being talked about on the news,
if these guys knew, right?
As if these guys knew. Then what happens when
The
an
base
actor
their
dies?
sources on hearsay, absolute hearsay.
Yeah.
And they try to pass it off as news. Anyway, enough about these shitty outlets calling themselves as news channels. So, what's next? On a lighter note, let's move on to Justin Bieber, is it? No, it's Trudeau.
Did you just come up with this, spent half an hour over it or 1 hour over it?
Actually, it was like 45 minutes, but
yeah,
thanks.
I'm sure. Yeah. That looked like it was well rehearsed, and it's okay. It's fine. What about the shining...
Socks?
The shining socks, the bedazzling Indian trousseau he wore at a Bollywood at a meeting. Yeah, on the entire a groom trousseau,
So that's called a trousseau.
Yeah,
Then it's
like
only
the trousseau.
app that someone named Trudeau wears it, right? And makes mockery out of himself.
Yeah, trousseau, usually trousseau, because it's that sort of glitz is worn either in movies or on the day you're getting married. And Trudeau went all out.
Or in a really bad movie where Justin Trudeau is the lead actor. Right? Which seems to be the case for Canada.
In Canada, he's facing a lot of backlash, but he's taken
Why is he facing a backlash?
We'll elucidate on that. So we'll elucidate on the fact that he came... Trudeau with his entire family was on a official visit to meet Narendra Modi. Prior to the day he was supposed to meet Modi, he took a longer time to spend, his time with his family, going around places, meeting people, making sure his alliances and his MPs from his cabinet were happy with the decisions which he took. However, those were very ill thought of decisions, because before he actually met the Prime Minister of India, which is Narendra Modi, he had a lot of huge faux pas moments. Number one,
being Justin Trudeau.
Number two, the myth of Justin Trudeau being this, all embracing and very intelligent
maybe
decision maker.
He should stop being all embracing. be more selective in embracing things.
And
You shouldn't go overboard, like even with his outfits.
he went overboard.
Yeah, like if you would do that once in a while, then people are like, okay, he embraces the culture, he feels good. But if you're gonna be being in a bright fluorescent yellow outfit every time you show up to the public,
But that's the problem
in a
with
foreign country.
Indians living abroad also. They are too Indian. So they probably are more
too
Indian. They're probably more Indian, or they think that this is the idea of India which we must carry. So he brought that idea of us wearing traditional attire everywhere,
Right.
and took it to another level. And this is next level. This is from and these are styles which are
Posing
5 years
with Bollywood,
or 10 years.
Yeah, posing with Bollywood actors,
Yeah.
and the prime minister of a major nation looking like the
he's
Bollywood
at a
actor.
wedding. Yeah, not just a Bollywood actor, that the Bollywood actor that come for his wedding.
Right.
So they seem more Canadian than
Anyway.
Trudeau himself. But bad decision making is the whole Khalistan issue, which he sort of the whole talk about. It was really a really bad move in terms of having a Sikh terrorist who had been accused of pushing the Khalistan agenda, and invite him for a dinner,
He
go for
had
photo
been
ops, go Sophie
Convicted
Trudeau.
of attempted murder back in the day.
Yeah,
that
so
guy.
he was called a terrorist, right?
Right. He's an ex-terrorist.
He's an
yeah.
ex-terrorist. So basically we have a ex-terrorist hanging out with
Justin Trudeau.
Justin
Apparently,
Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau said it was a mistake that he was invited to
Yeah.
the formal functions, and that he didn't know much about it. He doesn't know much about Mr. Atwal, the convicted ex-terrorist. But the convicted...
He's had a lot of photo ops with Mr. Atwal.
Yeah,
back
he
home.
says, how do you
know?
explain these photos? And we are on very friendly terms. He
Yeah.
calls me Jess.
Because then how is he retracting his statement and saying that I didn't know that he was going to be called? He must have done that before, because there is footage, and there is there are pictures of him posing with the Atwals.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point where he had a photo op at the Canadian High Commission with the Atwals, there he's now, he's backed off and he said, I didn't know this is,
That's
I'm
what
going
I'm
to go
saying.
home and talk about the MPs, talk to the MP who got Atwal to come here. But he's got like a line of pictures and a history of hanging out with them and being
Not
a
just hanging out with
sympathizer or whatever
this
he is.
particular person, but Justin Trudeau has a really colorful history with these sort of terrorist elements. The recent 10 million reward that he sort of gave to that terrorist, ISIS terrorist, if you read about that. Yeah, and a lot of other things also. He's had like this all-embracing nature. He's posed for a photo shoots with, not photo shoots, but like for
And his father
I'm sure he can even do
who
that.
was also the Prime Minister, was
Yeah,
known to
who
be
was quite close to Fidel Castro.
Well, I mean, you
So
might have and while God knows what he is thinking, but diplomatically to have to be in a country where this whole issue is, to be in a country representing your own country and to be so blasé about and going about your business is not expected. And after Obama, everybody
He
was
seems to be
rooting for Trudeau, right? Like
Right.
even the Indian media was obsessed with
not
Trudeau.
me, maybe
Not you, but like, because he's
All the
he's not
girls.
he's easy on the eyes.
swooning over
Yeah.
his hair, but he's got perfect hair. Let's ignore everything else.
Exactly.
Like
And he
he's
can
so
speak
clueless.
French and English and says namaste. So everybody
Apparently
was,
also Hindi, right?
apparently also a bit of
Sanskrit,
Hindi.
God knows, like
Yeah, he's
what
just,
a guy dressed
he's-
like that knows, right?
He's multi-talented, multifaceted.
Multi-talented and multicultural. And speaking of multiculturalism, he during one of his grand speeches in India,
Yeah.
which I'm sure he made quite a lot of those, being here for like 8 days. He said
So
that
it was an extended family junket on your
Right.
tax money, dear Canadians.
and they're okay with it. He's got
Yeah, they're
great
okay.
hair. Yeah. Anyway, so he's so clueless. He says that
And quite frankly, the most common complaint I get from Canadians, from Canadian businesses, from people in general is you're not bringing in enough immigrants. And that's a rare thing in this world.
That's what he says. And according to a poll that his government itself conducted, it said that only 8% of the Canadians actually think that there should be more immigration. So that just shows the disconnect, and he's in his own little
because
bubble.
he's a hugger, and he's a he just wants to hug people,
Right.
and he just
Speaking
wants
of
to make the world a better place.
He received the trademark hug from our Prime Minister,
Yeah.
Mr. Modi, on the 6th day that he was here in India.
But he was not scheduled to meet Modi
Right.
till the 6th. I
He
mean,
was just shooting for a Wes Anderson movie, and
not a Wes Anderson movie. He was shooting for like some
like
B-grade Bollywood movie.
Wes
from the
Anderson
90s.
movie, but
No, come on. We can't be insulting Wes Anderson's.
assisted by Tommy Wiseau.
Assisted by Tommy Wiseau. I know. And then double assisted by
Oh,
who?
I don't know that many horrible
Indian
filmmakers.
horrible Indian
Right.
filmmakers.
Pick any.
No, the current plot and we've had like some really good filmmakers, and anybody watching the podcast would know, or watching Indian cinema would know, that there's some pretty cool gems out of the country. So Trudeau's visit was extremely exciting in terms of the photo ops which he managed to give all of us. And now that he's back, he is on a nap day.
Yeah, and
He's,
while it was widely considered, his vacation to India was widely considered to be a failure.
Yeah.
And when he does return to Canada, he takes a day off.
Because he knows the kind of fury which he has to be at the receiving end
Yeah.
of from the media, from everybody.
Or maybe he just ran out of colorful socks.
Or that could be the case. He could have run out of colorful socks. God.
Or he just
Trudeau.
lost all his like regular clothing when he returns to Canada.
Yeah, he's
he
like,
just
I'm not,
has
why am I doing like, you know.
Kurtas and sherwanis.
Yeah, he's like, maybe we should have like a national Indian costume day, or maybe they already do have it. Yeah, like,
They
a
should.
week of being Indian, and this is how Indians do it. Anyway, so
That's what he should do.
I don't think he spoke like that. I don't think even we speak like that. But we will suck into the the
actually.
trend, and we will go nod left or right. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
So can we go on to the next topic, which is not as funny as Trudeau's visit over here, but a
Right.
little goes into the territory which is a matter of huge debate and has people completely polarized in terms of being pro and against the whole issue, which is gun control and the Parkland shooting.
right. On the issue of gun control on one hand and the mental health issue on the other hand. Parallels are drawn to the rest of the world where there really isn't that much gun related crime, especially not school shootings, if you will. But on the other hand, according to the 2014 statistics, 1 in 5 Americans do have mental health problems. At least once in a year, they do suffer from some mental health problems. So, that rate, that statistic is unique in the world.
Yeah.
Like 20%, 20 to 25% of your populace is going crazy.
Yeah.
So that needs some addressing as well. That is a statistic you cannot ignore. Like this guy, this kid, who is the Parkland shooter, he suffered from ADHD, or autism, like what have you, and he had been notified to the police department, even the FBI. He commented on someone's YouTube channel a few months before the shooting that I'm going to shoot up a school with his original name, right? And the owner of that channel took a screenshot and apparently sent it to the FBI. And someone else had also corresponded with the FBI. And so many times that the police were alerted about his violent tendencies and his weird behavior. But nothing was done really. Which brings us to the issue at hand, which is the events that have transpired in the past few days. the sheriff in that town. His officers were on the side for like 4-5 minutes or something like that, while people were actually getting shot inside, and they didn't go in with their ammunition. What they're supposed to do, basically, they didn't do their job.
Yeah,
Right.
which is pathetic.
And
which
that
is
sheriff
awful.
is retracting, saying that I have displayed amazing leadership and this and that.
Of course, I mean, when you are going to
Right.
be
That does not look like amazing leadership.
it's not, it doesn't look like amazing leadership, but it also brings us to the larger issue which people are now taking, and starting to talk about, which is of gun control, and which is of the Arms Act and the amendments which have been made, and which have not been made, and how you need to really rectify and figure out what is the way forward. Like, should everybody, should kids at 18 be allowed to
Right.
just go into a shop and get a gun? Should there not be stricter license, stricter screening on FBI? Like you mentioned yourself that there was a report to the
Let's
FBI which
just
was
say-
given. So should you not have a proper background check? And in fact, as a matter of fact, you don't have any of these things which have been which are carried out, or you have you at 21
Exactly. So
you are
laws are in place.
laws are not in place, because at 20
Laws are in place. I know that law needs to be addressed.
it needs to be addressed,
but,
and needs to be addressed quickly.
The laws, even the laws which are already existing, they are not implemented as well over there, right?
What are the laws which are existing right now? The laws of like a stricter check on the background check
This
is
guy
not
was
there.
clearly mentally unstable.
Yeah, but mentally unstable is a larger issue, which I agree, which I mean, with those kind of statistics needs
in
to
my
be addressed.
opinion,
But a person with a mental illness, to give them access, and such free access without a stricter background check, does not work, right?
you have to be aware of the huge and the unique case of the mental health issue that America has, and also the gun problem that they have. Blanket statements like there needs to be a gunman, or it's just the people, not the guns killing people. Stuff like that doesn't work anymore, and it's got to do with the fact that you have to arrive at the middle somewhere, right, and apply certain laws to the mental health domain as well as the issue of how does a fucking 17-year-old get his hands on an AR-15 in the first place.
Yeah.
What is he going to achieve?
What is he going to achieve? And
Right.
While we are agreeing with all of that, I'm saying that what is happening is this mental health issue.
He got it legally, by the way.
And NRI and everybody else is also trying to make this. They're digressing from the topic, right? They're like, okay, fine.
They're not digressing. People
they are also digressing, because you have to. They're
There you go,
digressing. They're
reading.
No, I'm not reading
Reading the-
anything. They're digressing from the fact that I'm not saying, and if you just. I'm saying that, of course, mental health issue is a huge problem. Address that, but do not be like unaware of the fact that there are some serious issues with rules and regulations. Nobody, even the kids, are not asking for a complete ban. What they're asking for is raise the age limit, raise the standard of
people
checks.
are.
No, but I don't know what those people are. The other wrong
Right.
people you're concentrating
Right.
on. Even Trump,
That's why-
in fact, is recognizing it now, and there is infighting going on within his.
Everybody agrees to the fact
No,
that
Trump is recognizing, and he's talking about it. The raising of the age. NRA, however, has taken a very strong position. They're saying that we will not have anything to do with any amendments. We are absolutely fine the way we are, because they are the ones who are talking about not
don't
going
make
and
the
raising.
rules.
They are the ones who've been making the rules, and they've been given so much power, and that is what I'm trying to say. They haven't really come out in the open and made any strong statements about yes, we feel that there is merit in the fact that the age of the acquiring a firearm should be increased, about the fact that there should be stricter backgrounds and checks. And there was a recent town hall which also happened, where there was a heated debate between the NRA representative and the kids from the Parkland, the survivors, the kids who were there, who basically were talking about stricter gun control. And
whatever the fuck that means.
Stricter gun control means, which I said and I'm going to reiterate for the third time, increase in the age
Right.
of acquiring a firearm.
Sure, I am for that.
Yeah, I hope other people also
A lot
for
of
it, although our
people,
opinion doesn't count
Right.
living in another country. But yeah, that. Second, that there should be stricter background checks to actually for people who are actually going and buying a firearm.
Right. What
So
about
your
the
mental,
huge
your
amount
mental
of
health
firearms
issue
that are
also.
already there?
Well, there is a huge. So what about the firearms which are already there? So you need to take proactive measures to go back to see what are your data and what are your stats. See what are the mental health issues which those people who already have those guns and firearms.
So the
You have a
answer lies
process
somewhere
of-
in the middle, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that you
Cannot
have to
ignore
address
one issue and
I'm not telling you
focus
to
on the
ignore
other.
one issue. I said that right in the beginning also, that mental health is an issue. But gun control and gun laws, stricter gun laws also are an issue which need to be taken in
Obviously,
mind.
they are an issue, right?
Right. So yeah, so that's all there is. That you have to meet, you have to understand who all are getting affected.
Ooh, got it.
Got
So-
it? Okay. So that was the Parkland shooting, and as we go along, I'm sure when the episode is released, there'll be a lot of other developments which will happen.
Yeah, hopefully concrete ones and not just shameless slandering and finger
The
pointing.
bickering kinds where, we're just looking to reach somewhere in the middle.
So, did you guys hear about the guy who's been married 8 times in the UK?
I'm surprised that that's even a news.
That
Like,
is-
I mean, I'm
It
surprised
can't always-
that it only 8
it
times.
can't all be like murders and
Elizabeth Taylor was married, what? 9 times?
I don't know.
10 times in the US, like the famous actor.
So
So that was like back in the day. And now she's dead.
she was married 9 times.
Yeah. So, this guy, whoever it is,
Michael Lineman, please.
yeah, so whoever this guy is, no big shit. Go ahead, get married like 10 times.
Yeah, well, he was trying to get married for the 9th time.
And
His bride, who was 28 years old, all the way from Philippines, yeah, and she ran away a few days before the marriage. And he said she had been giving him
you
the
can't even
signs.
say third time is a charm for this guy because he's way...
3 into 3 times wasn't the charm for this guy. And this woman ran away, and she's currently an illegal residing in the UK somewhere. He has alerted the authorities and is also being open about how she wasn't really into him, but I tried to make it work, tried to give her everything, and she would spend all day with the earphones in her ears and taking selfies and
Oh my
whatnot,
God.
doing
What a tortured,
whatever,
miserable soul.
doing whatever a
Yet-
28-year-old
yet-
from Philippines does.
Yet he finds himself again at the crossroad of marrying the 10th time.
Right? Maybe
Like,
that's his thing.
Have they really run out of
That's
news
his
completely?
passion.
Theresa
I
May
guess
is
they
not
have.
making any news
Right.
for them
So-
to come up with this.
And so have we run out of news to cover,
Yeah.
and that's how we end it.
And that's how we
Don't
say...
get married for 9 times, right?
Yeah.
9 times over. Yeah.
Learn your lessons quick
I
and
think
fast.
2 or 3 times is enough.
Yeah.
Aim at that.
Or don't get married at all. It's okay.
Yeah,
like,
it's okay.
chill. So...
Works for a lot of people.
works for a lot of people, it seems, and doesn't work for a lot of people. I did also, but anyway.
Marriage is something which is out of the scope for this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Ciao.
To get something, you have to lose something, right? I remember seeing kids playing in the colony outside my house, and I remember waiting to play with them so badly, but my mom used to make me understand that I have to sleep because I have a morning shift. For me, going to the studio and acting was just an exciting, if not more, as playing with the kids in my colony.